Hey guys, you know, I've never done a real video on this much, but I think the closest I've ever gotten to talking about anything like this is the whole situation with Toys R Us, which is now coming back as Jeffrey's Toy Box, and the information we got on Jeffrey's Toy Box is it's going to be kind of like a sectionary kind of situation, to where they work with different companies to dedicate a section of that company's store to being like a mini Toys R Us. But what that means is, even though it'll be like a mini Toys R Us, you won't have people wearing the Toys R Us outfits or, Toys R Us uniforms or anything like that. It'll basically be like Jeffrey's Toy Box is just going to be all toys, nothing else. And it'll be basically, like I said, a miniature Toys R Us, but the biggest difference is you got to take what you buy or you want to buy to the counter, to the register of the store that it's in. So, for example, Jeffrey's Toy Box, from what I've heard, is located in a TJ Maxx, then you got to go to a TJ Maxx counter to check out and buy the toys that you got out of the section. Now, to me, this is kind of going to be a little conflicting, because there are companies, stores out there that like to have their own toy sections, but my assumption on this is Jeffrey's Toy Box starting out in this manner will probably grab more attention to these fleeting toy areas at these stores, so that people will be like, oh, well, this is an exclusive you can only get at TJ Maxx, or this is an exclusive you can only get at Kohl's, but you can only get them here because they'll be part of the Jeffrey's Toy Box section at the store. And that's pretty cool if that's what's going to happen. The other news is basically the people behind this, the loaners, the lenders, if you will, are hoping that it's successful enough that soon afterwards they'll be able to finally expand back into retail stores or regular buildings and be their own thing. They won't have to be reliant on they won't have to be reliant on being a subsection within a store or within another company's store. So that's basically what it sounds like there. And again, my opinion is I've stuck with is, I think if they eventually get to own retail stores again, they're not going to be the big buildings and stuff that we're used to seeing them in. They're going to basically be sort of similar to what you've seen in malls, and maybe smaller. I mean, again, in case you guys don't know, Circuit City is kind of slowly coming back, but the way they're coming back is they're starting back out in these smaller buildings, these smaller like Plaza Village like spaces, if you will, or venues, or whatever you want to call them. So yeah, that's what it sounds like. That to me sounds exactly how Toys R Us, I think, will probably get back into the physical store business on their own after doing whatever they're going to do as the starting point of this Jeffrey Toy Box kind of deal. And so yeah, don't be surprised if one of these days you go near those plaza areas or those village areas or villa areas, and you notice something on one of the empty buildings that's for rent or for rent or purchase or whatever, to put a business in, that it says coming soon Jeffrey's Toy Box, because I think that's how they're going to try to relaunch their own physical store buildings as. So So yeah, it's going to be a step-by-step process. They're going to see how this part of it works, where they work with companies like TJ Maxx and stuff, and kind of do like a subdivision within the store that represents them, and then probably once that's successful, start going down the route where they can have their own buildings, their own stores. But I think what we'll get is basically more of a very, like I said, we're basically going to get a very Villa Plaza way, kind of like mini mall, kind of like store, if you will. So that, or interpretation of what Toys R Us used to be when it comes to Jeffrey's Toy Box, but it's all depending on what happens with the first step that they take. But that's not the only reason I'm doing this. You know, word is going around that Sears, which is another retail giant, is also suffering a similar fate, or is getting ready to suffer a similar fate. From what I can understand, if I can just look at this correctly, from what I can understand, it's suffering a similar fate. I'm trying to see something. Hold on for a sec. Yeah, retail archaeology. It's easy for me to say. Retail archaeology, if you will, did a video back on October 12th about it. You know, they talked about it, and how one of the things they mentioned was how the lenders, the creditors, like Bank of America, Wells Fargo, and several others, are looking to file, if not have already filed, or are going to file as of this Monday. Well, actually, it has been this past Monday, hasn't it? Let's see. Yeah, it has been already done. But basically, according to the creditors, according to retail archaeology, if you will, retail archaeology, basically the creditors from Bank of America, Wells Fargo, and several others were looking to have Sears file for Chapter 7 bankruptcy liquidation, or Chapter 7 liquidation bankruptcy. That means basically, and I don't know any of the legal terms when it comes to it, I'll be honest with you, but it basically means that Sears, to kind of pay back the creditors and any debt that they owe, has to sell off everything that they can in the stores. Whether it's a store at a mall, whether it's a store on its own, they got to sell off as much as they can to pay back that debt. And once they pay it back, that's when the liquidation and the Chapter 7 bankruptcy will end, and they'll just have to, basically, if they want to stay in business, try to, I guess you could say, stay on top of what they're going to do. Either the people in charge of Sears sells the business to somebody else that can, manage financially, what Sears is loaned and what they have to pay back in the future, or Sears just goes the way that a lot of stores have been going, and that's completely out of business. And I don't think they want to. I don't think anybody else wants them to, because whether you like it or not, Sears is still a viable name. It's still a recognizable name, especially when you get to the Christmas season. The one thing that retail archaeology, didn't say was the reason that it looks like the Sears in the mall that they would go to in Arizona looks dead is not because the mall is dead itself. No. Yeah, mall business is not doing so well either, but you forget the Christmas season, the holiday Christmas shopping season is the one time a year where businesses pick up. So even if the mall looks dead now, it's going to pick up in time. It's going to pick up during the holiday season because people will know, hey, I want to get an item, but I don't want to wait so long for it to come in the mail that it might come after Christmas or when I want it to come. I'm going to go physically get it myself, and that's what they're going to do. They'll go to a mall because they know there's a store there that will physically give them what, will physically have what they're looking for. That's about it. And, as far as Sears go, Sears is going to pick up too. Because you forget, Sears is not just electronics and toys and, and appliances and all that. It's also clothing items. There's a lot of stores. Sears is known to sell clothing items as well, just like Macy's, just like Macy's is known to do, just like JCPenney's is known to do. And Macy's and JCPenney's, more so JCPenney's, has been talked about heading towards the direction of not doing so well business-wise, but just when it looked like that was the case, it picked itself back up in some ways, and it's kind of riding that very thin tightrope of, staying in business and possibly going down the filing for bankruptcy route. But right now, though, looking more like they're heading in a direction they want to head, which is staying in business by doing whatever they can. Sears right now is just in a situation to where they got to pay off a major debt, and the only way they could do that, if not have done it already, is to file for that Chapter 7 bankruptcy liquidation, where they have to liquefy, basically sell off as much as they can to pay off the debt. And once they do that, try to rebuild their assets from that disaster. And like I said, either possibly think about and consider selling to somebody else that will be able to properly manage the financial situation and make sure that whatever happened now, that's what happened now doesn't happen in the future. Either that, or they're going to go down the route that a lot of businesses have gone, that people project will go, and they don't want to see that. Because like I said, Sears is still a viable name. So, is it hard to see a business like Sears, and even before that a business like Toys R Us, go through this kind of a situation? Yeah, it is hard. And yeah, a lot of people can blame the fact that nowadays you just go online, either through your laptop, your computer, your phone, if you will. Like I said, your laptop, your computer, your phone, your Android or Kindle or iPad device, or whatever, or even your TV, and you can pretty much find and order whatever you want from there, whether it's from the Amazon.com website, eBay.com, a company like Hexar, HEXIR.com, whether it's the Disney store online, whether it's the DC Universe store online, doesn't matter. Whether it's Walmart online, whether it's Target online, doesn't matter. Online shopping has really kind of put a dent in a lot of these major retailers like Sears and JCPenney's and Toys R Us and all that. But let me tell you something from personal experience. Just because online shopping seems to be putting a dent in retail business, it doesn't mean retail business is suffering. I work at Walmart. I work for probably the biggest retail company, no offense to Target, but one of the biggest retail companies and most successful retail companies in the world, and we still get hit very hard, and we still make plenty of money during the holiday season, especially on Thursday evening and the next day on Black Friday, because of the fact that people want to come in store because they want to physically get what they want to get it for gifts and for themselves and all that, and not have to wait days or so for it to come in the mail or by UPS or FedEx or On Track or whatever, or DHL. You know, they don't want to work. They don't want to have to wait and worry about it. Oh, they don't. What I'm saying is they don't want to wait for it to come in the mail, or even worried that if it does get delivered via, like I said, FedEx, UPS, United States Postal, DHL, On Track, you name it, they don't want to have to worry or not if it got stolen or lost, I should say, or they don't want to be worried that maybe one of the workers for that one of those delivery companies looked in the item, looked in the package, saw what it was, and took it for themselves. They don't want to worry about that. They want to be able to get it themselves. And that's why, even though online shopping is kind of put a dent, it hasn't put that big of a dent just yet. And the only reason people would go online at times, sorry, just taking my time there, but the only reason people would go online at times to get an item that they could easily go into a Sears or JCPenney's and stuff to get it in person, is because sometimes the online has it for cheaper. How do I know this? People come into my store, and one of the things they can do is compare prices between our online site and our physical store, in-store if you will, and notice that sometimes the online portion of Walmart has things a lot cheaper than what we have them in-store, and they're able to get it for that online price in-store. So yeah, you know, is online shopping kind of hurting businesses in that matter? Absolutely. But it's not hurting them to the point. But here's the thing. They are putting a dent in it, but it's only because companies like Sears and JCPenney's, when they should know better, are not reducing the price of items that people want to get at affordable prices that they want. And that's why people go online to get them, because sometimes they're cheaper. But is it a shame that JCPenney's and Sears and even Toys R Us have gone through this? Absolutely. Would it be a good idea for them to reduce the prices of some of the items they have so they wouldn't? Probably. But again, that's the reason online sometimes has been putting a dent and putting them into probably causing them, or at least contributing to situations like what Sears is going through right now. So, but yeah, honestly, I don't think Sears is going to be, in that much trouble. I think they'll be able to pay off the debt. And I think, like I said, one of the two things I see happening is, one of the things I see probably happening, probably more so than anything, is they're going to sell to probably a new owner or someone that's going to be able to financially make sure they don't go down this path again. So, yeah, is it a shame, like I said, that companies like Sears and Toys R Us and JCPenney's and other, Circuit City and all of them, have had to go through this? Absolutely. But do they bounce back? In their own way, they try to, and in their own way, they find a way to. So, but yeah, that's all I'm going to say on it, guys. Let me know what you think down below. What do you think Sears' future is going to be after this? And do you think online shopping has caused a dent in retail for them because of the fact that what they find in Sears, in places like Sears and JCPenney's and all that, they can find cheaper online. The exact same item, that is. So let me know what you guys think down below. Comment if you like, and I'll talk to y'all later. Sorry if I rambled and was all over the place here, but let me know what you think down below. Comment if you like, and I am out.